So I started this YouTube channel back in 2020, and it was in the midst of the whole COVID situation that kind of kept everybody isolated. We had to keep our distance. A lot of businesses closed. A lot of places were restricted. Travel was also restricted, and so we found ourselves with a lot more time in our hands um, to do things, but basically uh, do things indoors. And so that's when I decided to start this YouTube channel. One of my main passions has always been photography, video, graphics, and things of that sort. Anything that has to do with visual arts, it's something that it's always been with me growing up. And so I decided to create some videos where I would show people how to photograph um, products and things of that nature, because that's the only thing that I had access to. Obviously, uh, because of the situation, you know, doing photo shoots, doing portraits of people, were kind of not the most viable thing at the time. And so taking photos of products, setting them up, doing basically how-to videos on that was the thing that I got into. And so I figured, hey, why not, sharpen my the skills of photography and also make spec um, commercials of products and stuff. Shoot the videos of that, explain the lighting and all the good stuff is what I got into because it was the most accessible thing considering the circumstances. So started doing that, created some videos, uh, but after a while, I basically stopped doing them. Then there were some moves, right, to a different home and whatnot. And so once I got there, again, I started creating videos again. And so same thing, creating videos, spec commercials, and things of that nature. And once again, I stopped. So that was already twice that I did that. So in retrospect, I kicked myself in the ass because all these years that have gone by, right now we're in January of 2026. And so if I would have just kept consistent about, even if it would have been one video a month, I would have been so much further ahead. Uh, but the point is, I didn't. Now, time waits for no one. There's going to be uh, more time and many, many more years that are going to continue to pass by. And so I started thinking about that. And, I don't want to waste any more time. So I going to right now, the idea is to re-engage in doing the videos. Once again, even if it's once a month, obviously the idea is to make more, but at least to create goals that are easily attainable. Right? Don't overstretch yourself. Don't overreach if you're not able to. But the key is to be consistent with it, and that goes for anything that you want to do in life. And so that is my plan. That's the reason for this video. It's kind of, I don't know, in a way to um, make myself accountable by putting this video out there for other people to see and know. Whether people care or not what I do, it's, obviously that's a different story, but at least it kind of keeps me accountable for what I need to do. So that way, in a few years from now, I don't come back to the same thing and talk about the same thing of, hey, all these years have gone by and I didn't do this. So, that's the whole point of this video. So that's, that's like I said, the time that has already passed. It's under water under the bridge. You can't be dwelling on that. And the idea is to learn from your mistakes and just move forward and do the things that you need to do. So that's my plan. And I want to use it as a segue to talk about a different topic which has nothing to do with photography or filmmaking, although that's what this channel is all about. But there's one thing that is intertwined with creativity, and that is music. And music, for all intents and purposes, is in every aspect of our lives. So when it comes to music, I decided to go back to basics. I decided to start collecting vinyl records again and to embrace an analog state of mind. Every day we're bombarded with technology, we're constantly doom scrolling, but never actually taking the time to slow down and appreciate the simple things in life. I had the great fortune of having two great friends who I had been speaking to in regards to getting back to collecting records and listening to music, the way that we used to back in the day. And so I had a great friend of mine who gifted me a record player. Another one, he had a spare receiver, so he decided to gift it to me. So that was really cool, and I really, really appreciate them both for doing that for me. So for those who know me, I'm a sucker for nostalgia, and one of the things I remember from back in the day is just having the ability to call your friends, calling your buddies, and going out to the record store, and on your way there, you would talk about a song or a band or music that somebody introduced you to, and now you wanted to know more about it, and getting to the store and spending hours there just flipping to records, checking out the artwork, checking out the photography that was used. And so that is just that whole experience that is so much more wholesome than it is now when you're just on the phone and you're just scrolling through whatever streaming app. It's just not the same. And so then after you buy your records or whatnot, you would go to you would go back home, just carefully opening up the record, taking the record out of the sleeve, putting that record on the turntable, putting the needle on the record, watching it spin, beginning to listen to that music. You would basically immerse yourself. There was no advancing the song. There was no scrolling to the next thing. You would like literally slow down. You would stop and listen to the entire record, and then having that experience of flipping the record over to the B side and doing it, and just being there, just being present with you and your friends. It's something that I think that it has been lost, but hopefully now that there has been a resurgence of record stores and records and people just basically looking to slow down. We live in a society that everything has to be done instantaneously. Everybody wants things right now. Everybody is on the go. That's why we have fast food, because we don't even you know go to work. You go to the fast food place, you eat while you're driving, and then you get back to it. So it's just a constant thing that it's, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think it's a healthy thing. But I hope that people would get more into slowing down and just enjoying, right? Because we only have one life, and to just be spending it on the hustle and the hustle and the hustle and the hustle, and until the day that we die, I don't think that's the best way to live life. So, hopefully, this would help somebody to just kind of think about it and just slow down. Having said that, I did a video of how I set up the equipment that I was gifted along with the speakers that I purchased. Once again, to me, it was very therapeutic just going through the motion of setting everything up and having the ability to listen to the music that I like in that particular format, because it's more immersive. It just forces you to slow down and just pay attention to what you're doing. So the only thing I want to do is just remind you to slow down and just enjoy the simple moments in life. Now let's just go and let me show you my little setup. Okay, so first things first, the receiver's already been set up. So now it's time for me to add the turntable. And we're gonna go ahead and do in unboxing here. As I mentioned before, this is a gift from a really good buddy of mine, and so we'll appreciate it. Thank you so much. Now this particular unit does have the ability to connect Bluetooth, but once again, I don't want to use any of that. I just want to go and connect it straight to the receiver and just have a more of an analog experience with it. Okay, here's the here's the plate. I guess this brand is made by a company called Victrola, which has been around for a very, very long time. There's some assembly required here. And so the drive belt hooks up to this drive motor right there. Yep. So you got the felt top. It's got some RCAs here, but I'm going to use some more better RCAs that I have. They're just a little better quality than what normally, you know, the manufacturers give you. So again, this is the attachment for any of the smaller 45 RPM records. Okay, here we go. It's going to go on here. It says to remove this and to remove this before use. Go ahead and plug it. I believe the needle assembly, if I'm not mistaken, is by Audio Technica. The actual needle is made by that company, and I guess in collaboration with Victrola. And connect that there. Drop this down for now. And these are the RCAs I'm going to be using to connect it to the receiver. And of course, you just match the colors. Red with red, white with white. And you do the same in the back of the receiver. And the receiver obviously has multiple inputs here. So normally a turntable, you connect it to the phono. The phono input, which is, where are you, phono? Right here. So we got the phono right here. That connects there. Okay, so next thing to happen is the wires that I prepared, that I showed you earlier. I'm going to go get the speaker wires and connect those. Okay, so in this case, obviously the receiver has speaker A's and speaker B, in my case, I only have a set of speakers, obviously left and right channel. So I'm just going to use the speaker A output here. In the very near future, I'm going to get myself a subwoofer, so I'm going to add that later. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and set these up. And so this is my left channel speaker out. So obviously this is going to fall on this side. Okay, and this is going to be the right side here. I guess I'll go from the bottom here. All right. Okay, so the wires are set up, the turntable is set up now with the speakers. So the next thing I need to set up is the speakers. I got the Klipsch RP600M. These are the older model. There's the new ones that came out. I think is the version 2. There's some differences also in some slight differences in the look, also in the all the range. I'm not really particular with or I don't know much about the different types. I just know that Klipsch, they're really good speakers and it sounds good. So I purchased some new records. I also have some old stuff that I found for fairly inexpensive. I don't know, from looking at them, they look fairly good. I don't know if if they're scratched or whatnot. I mean, for the price, you can't really ask for much, but hopefully they are. I bought a cleaning kit and some other stuff for it. With records, the nature is that you're gonna hear some crackling and popping sometimes, depending on how old they are. But it's just, like I said, it's part of the whole experience, right? To hear those things. But I bought a cleaning kit and other things just to make the experience more pleasurable. So let's set these up. They're actually bigger than I thought they were going to be. Thought they were more like a bookcase, but they're actually fairly big. And so it's got the grill. The grill is magnetic. This is basically what it looks like. So they're very nice, very good looking speakers. I think they actually look nicer without the grill. But if you just want to protect it, it just snaps in place. Okay, so now that I have the system all set up, it's time to play some tunes here. So I got some records that I purchased in the last few days. Some are new, some are old, but it's a very eclectic collection that I'm starting here. So I'm looking forward for it to grow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play this particular one here because aside from the fact that I like Depeche Mode, it's one of my favorite bands. This particular set has comes in orange colored vinyl, so I'm gonna shoot some B-roll right now. That's gonna look really cool with the orange vinyl spinning on the turntable. So we'll do that. Now, I'm gonna probably most likely look into YouTube and see if there is any music similar to this, if they have something for Depeche Mode, because obviously I don't want to get any copyright strikes as I'm playing this. But if there's something that they allow to play that they have in their archives, then I'll go ahead and add it to it as a soundtrack. So I'll go ahead and do that, and let's listen to some tunes in the meantime.